Thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Naja'atu Tijani. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Let's begin with the unveiling of Africa's largest oil company, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, which has been unveiled with a mandate to achieve the desired energy security, which will support sustainable growth of the nation's critical economic sectors. President Muhammadu Buhari, who performed the ceremony, says he looks forward to NNPC becoming a dynamic company of choice, which will continue to deliver value to its stakeholders and the global energy community. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
It is indeed a new dawn for the nation's petroleum industry as President Muhammadu Buhari launches the rebirth of the NNPC Limited to deliver energy for today, energy for tomorrow. The landmark event in furtherance of the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act formally positioned the NNPC and the entire oil and gas industry on the path to sustainable growth, profitability and prosperity.
NNPC Limited will operate as a commercial, independent and viable national oil company at par with its peers around the world to sustainably deliver value to its over 200 million shareholders and the global energy community, while adhering to its fundamental corporate values of integrity, excellence, and sustainability. It will, of course, conduct itself under the best international business practices in transparency, governance, and commercial viability.
Apart from being privileged to lead the creation of the NNPC 44 years ago as the then Petroleum Minister, President Muhammadu Buhari was also responsible for the signing of the PIA, heralding the long-awaited reforms of the oil and gas industry, including the rebirth of the NNPC.
I therefore thank Almighty God for choosing me to consistently play an important role in shaping the destiny of our national oil company from the good to the great. NNPC Limited is mandated to ensure Nigeria's national energy security is guaranteed to support sustainable growth across other sectors of the economy.
Both the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, and the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPC Limited, Mele Kolokiari, thanked President Buhari for his unparalleled leadership, steadfastness, and unalloyed support towards ensuring that Nigeria's oil and gas industry is on a sound footing.
I know that expectations are high with this unveiling of NNPC Limited. I have no doubt that the clear path for the survival and growth of our petroleum industry is now before us.
This indeed is a new day, a new hope, and a new opportunity to upscale our relevance in the global energy community as Africa's largest energy company. We have taken a strategic initiative to achieve our mandate of ensuring energy security for our country by rolling out a comprehensive expansion plan to grow our fuel retail presence from 547 to over 1,500 outlets within the next 6 months.
Before the coming into effect of the Petroleum Industry Act, leading to the rebirth of the NNPC, $50 billion worth of investment eluded Nigeria, but not anymore. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Away from the rebirth of the NNPC, the Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the Central Bank of Nigeria has decided to raise the monetary policy rate on a basis of 100 points from from 13% to 14%. This was made known by the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, at the end of the 4th Monetary Policy Committee meeting for the year 2022. The committee retained the asymmetric corridor at plus 100 and minus 700 basis points around the MPR, as well as cash reserve ratio of 27.5% and liquidity ratio of 30%. The central bank governor said the decision would curtail inflation and urged the banking sector to continue to use development finance tools to support the agricultural and manufacturing sectors to boost growth.
$1 billion is what we spend in a combination of medical tourism and educational tourism. Nigerians now go to school shamefully in some of our neighboring West African countries and they pay dollars. Our interest in this is that it reduces medical tourism.
Nigeria has 6 to 9 months to ratify agreements reached at the 12th World Trade Organization's ministerial meeting held recently in Geneva, Switzerland. Speaking on her visit to Nigeria, the WTO Director General, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, said her home country stands the chance of benefiting from resolutions reached on the global economy.
The month of June saw a global solidarity by ministers of trade under the World Trade Organization in the city of Geneva, Switzerland. They deliberated, agreed, and made declarations on fisheries subsidies, overriding patterns to produce local vaccines, food security, trade waivers, e-commerce, and reforms in the WTO, among other issues bordering on global economy. In the month of July, the Director General is on her feet around the globe to ensure the decisions reached by the ministers is brought to good outcomes. And it begins with 2/3 of countries worldwide depositing their instrument of acceptance for the agreements to come into effect.
I don't want it to take 2 or 3 years, the normal time these types of agreements take to come into effect. I want to do it within the next 6 to 9 months. And I would like Nigeria to be among the very first to deposit this instrument. The relevant stakeholders have met to specifically consider the agreement on fisheries subsidies and deliberated on how Nigeria can implement the agreement, while also taking advantage of the opportunities presented by the newly created WTO Fish Fund.
The conclusion on agreement on fisheries subsidy is a fulfillment of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 14.6, which the WTO is glad to accomplish after 21 years of stalemate. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the African Development Bank is sinking $460,000 into Nigeria's Securities and Exchange Commission to deepen modernization and boost investor confidence. Boss Sede Abel, who was at the signing event, reports that the Market Surveillance System project seeks to position Nigeria firmly in the continental market space.
Yet another vital support for the development of the Nigerian economy by the African Development Bank, and this time through the Securities and Exchange Commission. The grant, valued at $460,000, is to finance technical assistance and capacity building for capital markets development. Lamin Barrow, Director General, African Development Bank Group, says the initiative is to integrate capital markets in Africa and give innovative financial instruments, which has become even more urgent with the operationalization of the African Continental Free Trade Area.
The African Development Bank's support for this project derives from the federal government of Nigeria's efforts to promote the development of a competitive, deep and liquid capital market supported by an enabling regulatory environment.
The automated market surveillance tool will enhance the Securities and Exchange Commission's role in investors' protection, as well as ensure a transparent, fair and orderly market and reduce systemic risk.
A market surveillance system is required to aid the regulator in detecting and addressing market abuse as quickly as and efficiently as possible, and to proactively prevent major infractions.
The grant from the Capital Markets Development Trust Fund is a multi-donor trust fund administered by African Development Bank and support by the Ministry of Finance of Luxembourg and Ministry of Foreign Trade and Cooperation of the Netherlands. In Abuja, Boss said able. NTA News.
Now Adiola in Lagos will give us an update on the fire outbreak at Okubaba and other events. Adiola, over to you.
Thank you, Najatu. A fire incident has occurred at Okubaba area of Lagos. Annie Daniels reports that although no life was lost, residents of the community say it is a fire outbreak to many.
The scene of the fire incident can best be described as a colossal loss to victims.
The place I go sleep in the night, I don't know.
This place gets gutted by fire every year. I am tired of living in this environment.
NTA News was informed that the fire outbreak was as a result of power surge. Even at that, these respondents say there is more than meets the eyes.
If you like to start it like this, they'll just put fuel inside pure water, through it. We can't know them. They are area boys. We cannot know them. We just see everywhere. The light will start from the other side, down there. You can just cross like this.
This is not the first time, this is not the second time, this is not the third time itself.
All that is left at the scene are rubble.
There's no place everybody can go than that place. Some people are working there, some people are doing whatever. They know that they are going to use it to eat.
It would be recalled that just April last year, a similar incident occurred. And residents of the small Okubaba community were asked to relocate to somewhere else, while residents were yet to recover from that. Another fire incident has occurred. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Now let's talk digital transformation. The trend of exploring opportunities in the digital space to drive national growth is becoming more popular across the world because of the gains it offers, particularly to economies and nations with requisite technology and inclusive ecosystem. To put Nigeria in a position to further harness these gains, the Policy Innovation Center of the Nigeria Economic Summit is undertaking a one-day capacity building engagement on inclusive digital transformation for players in the public and private sectors in Lagos. Ruth Aria Samuel reports.
Nigeria's digital sector is the fastest growing, averaging between 15 to 17% year on year, thereby assisting to grow the economy, while taking many, youths in particular, out of poverty. Looking to further bridge existing gaps in connectivity, the Digital Access Program, a flagship from the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office, joined hands with the Policy Innovation Center, an initiative of the Nigerian Economic Group to ensure digital transformation in the country.
It's impossible right now to do business efficiently or get education or healthcare without using digital tools to improve access, reach, and efficiency of that process. And so this digital inclusion program is to ensure that no one is left behind.
It's important to have these kind of dialogues to make sure that the right policies are in place and that things are working right for businesses.
Themed Inclusive Digital Transformation through the Digital Access Program, the second edition of the Stakeholders Formative Dialogue for the Digital Transformation Program had a mix of both public and private sector experts reviewing strategies, different mechanisms, and models to drive Nigeria's digital space.
There's very much a work in progress going on, which is looking at how you ensure that you do have regulation in place, the right regulation that safeguards consumers, safeguards citizens' rights.
In the past few years, we worked with the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, for example, to develop the new National Broadband Plan to expand broadband penetration in the country to about 75% by 2025.
The ICT sector in Nigeria, experts agree, is critical to the economy in its own right as a sector and also as an enabler in Lagos. Ruth Ariel Samuel, NTA News.
And that's a bit from Lagos. Nationwide continues with Zinreth and Jess after this time out. But do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your.
Still nationwide, welcome to Jos. Plateau State government is committed to investing huge resources in developing the health sector through critical infrastructure that will meet the basic healthcare needs of the citizens. Governor Simon Lalong restated this at the inauguration of the permanent head office complex of the Plateau State Primary Healthcare Board, Jos. Priscilla Grumnan reports.
It is in furtherance of its commitment to prioritizing healthcare delivery services that Plateau State government is inaugurating this state-of-the-art primary healthcare board complex, which houses several offices and boardrooms. Governor Simon Lalong says his administration has embarked on deliberate programs and policies aimed at ensuring that the more than 1,000 primary healthcare centers spread across the state provide affordable and accessible healthcare services to the people. His government, he states, will continue to pay its counterpart fund to enhance capacity of healthcare delivery.
We are also working at to ensure that the professionals are also trained and deployed appropriately to deliver the best services to our people. Now, with the movement to this side, I will also be proactive in our approaches as we are going to have a conducive atmosphere. The Plateau State Primary Healthcare Board is more poised to serve Plateau State better than before. There are funding that are lying for that are ready from the state, and this funding cannot come without criteria, without requirements.
Goodwill messages came from the Emir of Kanam, who is the primary healthcare ambassador in the state. Other development partners such as UNICEF and World Health Organization lauded the state government for creating enabling environment towards achieving universal healthcare coverage in the state. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Still on healthcare, the Chief Field Officer of the United Nations Children Education Fund, UNICEF, Bauchi Field Office, Nigeria, Dr. Tusha Rain, has pledged more support and partnership with Plateau State government in the area of maternal health, water, sanitation and hygiene. He made the pledge while on a courtesy visit to Governor Simon Lalong at the Government House, Jos. Again, Priscilla Grumnan has details.
The UNICEF field officer who was in Jos on official visit commends Plateau State government for ensuring that children's rights are protected by domestication of the Child Rights Act. He says UNICEF is glad to continue to partner the government in the areas of health, education and child protection as he urges the government to step up its human resource for health as a means of addressing maternal death rates.
UNICEF is very happy to partner with the Plateau State officials to further the programming for the children here. So we not only have the health program, but we also have the water sanitation program, where we work very closely with the Ruasa on water and sanitation issues.
Governor Lalong appreciates the laudable intervention programs of UNICEF in Plateau State and says his government is passionate about issues of maternal health, children's education, and challenges affecting vulnerable groups.
We do our best to take opportunity because the zona that is all very close to us here from Bauchi. And let me once again use the opportunity to appreciate what you have done, and we will continue to do with our support.
In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
And that's our package from Jos. It's back to Najatu in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Zinret. Delegates from African nations are in Rwanda for a continental conference on the role of protected areas in ensuring the future and health of the planet. And the Minister of Environment, Mohamed Abdullahi, is representing Nigeria at the event in Kigali. Onegi Fineface reports.
Climate change, largely caused by human activities, is waging a war on humanity. Extreme climatic events, including heat waves and rainstorms, are scorching parts of the world and at the same time washing off lives and livelihoods across the globe. It is common knowledge that although Africa contributes the least to carbon emissions, it is among the worst hit by climate change events.
In Africa alone, it is estimated that by 2050, climate impacts could cost African nations $50 billion annually. The continent is already experiencing more extreme droughts, floods, and cyclones. Nature is one of these solutions. It is our first line of defense to regulate global climate, reduce disaster risk, provide food and water, and avoid the spread and emergence of diseases.
Consequently, African nations are in Rwanda for the International Union of Conservation of Nature, IUCN Africa Protected Areas Congress.
We have the most beautiful rivers, forests, mountains, and a variety of wildlife that can only be found on this continent. We must therefore spare no effort in protecting and conserving this diversity.
These areas are critical for the survival of the planet, and the more we manage them for the benefit of people and nature, the more we will build a future where everyone, human and animal, thrives.
This Congress is a build-up to the Conference of the Parties COP15 summit in December, when global leaders are aiming to adopt a much-delayed pact to shield nature from the damage wrought by human activity. Onengiye Fineface, NTA News.
Similarly, the Executive Council of the African Union in Lusaka, Zambia, has risen from the 41st ordinary session of the Council after deliberating on a wide range of issues, including the status of regional integration in Africa. The meeting, which was attended by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, also reviewed the current position regarding the establishment of the African Medicine Agency, voting Rwanda to host the African Medicine Agency, which is an initiative of the African Union aimed at strengthening the regulatory environment to guarantee access to quality, safe and potent medicines, medical products and technologies on the continent. The Council also discussed the progress report on the implementation of the transition plan of the African Union, including the quota system and the audit skills assessment and recruitment exercise, as well as the level of implementation of various decisions of the Assembly of the Union, the membership of the Peace and Security Council, and the Crisis Reserve Facility of the Peace Fund of the African Union. Ahead of the 2023 general elections and the July 31st deadline for the suspension of the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise, eligible voters have continued to troop to the various centers to ensure they exercise their franchise. Ifeoma Ochinta reports.
Of people at the various registration centers, it is obvious that the electorates are getting ready for the 2023 general elections. This is GSS LiveCam, one of INEC registration centers for the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise. And it is past 12 as I'm speaking to you now, and no INEC official is on ground to attend to the crowd of prospective registrants.
Today being Monday, this is past 12. We are still here.
NTA's efforts to get INEC to comment on the situation proved abortive. Meanwhile, it was a different situation at the Area 1 registration center. If you recall, on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there was little or no activities in this center as INEC officials were not on ground to attend to the crowd of people. However, they promised that by Monday they will fix whatever logistic problems they have, a promise which they have kept.
The process has been smoothly. The INEC officials, they are capturing most of those that want to get their PVC card. So it's going gradually.
It's been seamless actually, but I actually don't know why a lot of people are here because INEC already told us to do most of the registration online. So I did my own online and coming here just pick up the slip, so it was quite fast actually.
Also, we have a couple of security men trying to maintain law and order, and just as the respondents have said, the exercise is going on seamlessly. From the Diplomat Park, Area 1, Abuja, I am Ifoma Ojinta.
Thank you, Foma. And still on electoral matters, there's a new deputy governor in Oyo State. Adebayo Lawal was sworn into office with the governor of the state, Seyi Makinde, and party faithful witnessing the ceremony. Ayomiku Ajibola reports.
The new deputy governor of Oyo State, led by the Chief Judge, Mukhtar Abimbola, taking his oath of office. Governor Seyi Makinde asked the new deputy governor to remain on the right path and do more in the task of moving the state forward. The deputy governor is to oversee Oyo State Housing Corporation, Oyo State Road Maintenance Agency, and the Ministry of Justice.
Our masters are the people of Oyo State. Our responsibility is to continue to serve them to the best of our abilities.
The Kishi-born lawyer Adebayo Lawal was initially announced by Governor Seyi Makinde in June as his running mate for the 2023 governorship election after dropping the ex-white deputy governor Rauf Olaniyan. Until his appointment as Oyo State Deputy Governor, Adebayo Lawal was the chairman of Oyo State Housing Corporation. It should be recalled that the Oyo State House of Assembly had earlier removed the former Deputy Governor Rauf Olaniyan following misconduct and series of allegations leveled against him. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Ekiti governorship election was good. Osun was better. 2023 will be the best, says INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, who gave the assurance while receiving a delegation on the 2023 pre-election assessment visit to the Independent National Electoral Commission in Abuja. Mayor Ogidi reports.
Professor Mahmoud's first public appearance after the Osun election. Smiling is the signature. Today's smile is broader, and the success recorded in the Osun poll likely responsible. And from the visitors, the International Republican Institute and the National Democratic Institute to INEC, Osun poll was better.
I think we should start by recognizing the continuous improvement that INEC has made to deliver safe elections for the people.
And thank you very much for all the kind words you said about Osun. We are encouraged.
How to scale up this victory at the national level in 2023 is the primary assignment of the team. Making the process the best is INEC's target, but a request from the visiting team.
And I'm waiting for a day when INEC will instantly issue cards. I come to the station, I register, and then my card is instantly given to me. The second issue I have is that you have your poll workers not getting time to cast their ballots. The security also don't have time to cast their ballots. And I think, I don't know, personally, I believe it's a denial of their constitutional rights.
We're working to prepare for the presidential election in 2023 in February.
It was a good election. Osun was a better election. We are promising that the 2023 general election will be our best election ever.
A medal for great achievers, especially in the U.S. military, presented to the INEC boss by the Secretary of State, Maryland, USA, Frank Naros. And from the host to the visitor, INEC's best souvenir to keep this day alive. Until 2023 polls, nice visiting Nigeria, the delegation told their host. Mie Okete, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the two chambers of the National Assembly suspended plenary this Tuesday in honor of a deceased member of the House of Representatives, Jude Issei-Den. The Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, while announcing the demise of the late lawmaker on the first day of plenary after the Salah break, described him as a committed legislator who worked tirelessly for the benefit of his constituents and other Nigerians. Judy Seidehen, until his demise, represented Ego Ikpobaoka Federal Constituency of Edo State. Aged 52, he died on the 1st of July 2022, leaving behind a wife and 3 children. In solidarity with the House of Representatives, the Senate also suspended its business of the day in honor of the late member. The World Health Organization and UNICEF reports say more than 2.5 billion people in the world are in need of one assistive device or the other. To assist such persons with disabilities in Nigeria, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is set to engage local producers of assistive technologies with the presentation of a national roadmap for 2021 to 2025. Ruth Agwele reports.
Necessity, they say, is the mother of invention. This adage best describes Ayuba Gofan, who is a polio survivor and specializes in the production of assistive devices like the wheelchair he's sitting on. For more than 20 years, Ayuba has produced assistive devices for persons with needs, but with no coordination or recognition.
We have been producing assistive devices, wheelchairs, tricycles, crutches, without a roadmap, so to say.
To bridge the gap, a national roadmap is being presented by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development to mainstream local production of assistive technologies by ensuring affordability and availability for persons with disabilities.
The ministry had conducted a nationwide assessment visit to a major local producers of ATS in the 36 states and FCT. Capacities of 48 of them have been built and provided with 200,000 each grant to enable them overcome greater portion of the challenges being encountered in the production of process of standard devices.
Therefore, the need to look inwards. Thus, the realization that the only way we can achieve self-sufficiency is by encouraging our local producers to deliver quality products that can match up with foreign ones.
People with gradual functional decline, we need to get some form of AT to support them at home so that they can also live a dignified life.
The plan is expected to accelerate local production by promoting access and standardization of quality assistive technologies for persons with disabilities to live a more productive life. In Abuja, Ruth Agwele, NTA News.
Next, we're joining Lanre in our Ibadan Network studios to give us an update on the trial census in Ogun State. Hello, Lanre.
Good to see you, Najatu, and welcome to Ibadan. Over 38,000 buildings in Ogun State have been captured for proper in the ongoing trial census conducted by about 768 enumerators engaged by the National Population Commission for the successful exercise. Tope Alabi has details.
Imekwafon is one of the 6 local government areas in Ogun State earmarked by the federal government for the ongoing trial census, which is to test the instruments procured by the National Population Commission ahead of the 2023 National Population and Housing Census. The residents, while expressing gratitude to the federal government for the exercise, said such a step will ensure that the real census in 2023 is successful for Nigeria to have accurate census.
We believe when they have the record, they will have a very good program for us.
The operators, while appreciating the residents for their cooperation, say the exercise requires attention and commitment.
It has been going on really well. We've been getting a lot of responses.
Yeah, there are some side comments. The people of Ilara were asking, oh, is the government going to give them money?
However, there are some areas like Jabata under Iwoye Ward which the enumerators could not access.
We could not enter one locality, Jabata, because of the crisis there, but not that the information area within that axis could not be reached.
Most of the houses have been numbered and households have been listed, with expectations that proper enumeration will commence soon. From Ilara, Imekwafon, Chokalabi, NTA News.
A suspected kidnapper escaping from Oyo State, Badu Alhaji Musa, has been arrested by men of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Kwara Command in Bani Kayama local government area of the state. Kendi Omolojo reports.
Bodo Abdullahi is alleged to belong to a gang of kidnappers who abducted a businessman in Maya, Oyo State, collected ransom from his family and later killed the victim. Following the arrest of a member of the gang in Oyo, the suspect, according to the NSCDC Public Relations Officer, Olasunkami Ayeni, fled to Kwara and was apprehended to an intelligence tip-off.
Case of kidnapping was reported at the Oyo State Command of Anti-Kidnapping Section, where 3 suspects were arrested and 2 were alleged to have absconded. Luckily for us, he ran into the hands of our men at Owode village.
40-year-old Bodo Abdullahi has denied being a member of a kidnapping gang, claiming he only ran to Kwara when he discovered he was being trailed by the police. Though he agreed to have been detained many times for various offences, both in Kwara and Oyo.
So, I was once remanded in Agodi, Iyaganku, and Ilorin for murder and not kidnapping.
The case was instituted with Nigerian police force in Oyo Command. We will go and join other suspects who are already in the custody of police.
The suspect will be transferred back to Ibadan after proper profiling. Kendi Omolosho, NTA News.
Those are the latest reports from Ibadan Network Center this hour. Nationwide continues in Maiduguri with Abubakar. After this break, stay with us.
Glad to have you back on Nationwide on the largest television network in Africa, the NTA. And this is Maiduguri Network Center. Let's move on now. In an effort to boost food security and restoration of livelihood of communities affected by the violent conflict in the Northeast, the UN Food and Agriculture Organization is supporting over 42,000 farmers in 5 states of the zone. Already, the FAO, in collaboration with Borno State Ministry of Agriculture, flagged off 2022 rainy season farming with the distribution of improved seedlings and fertilizer to farmers in Gongolong community of Jere Council area of the state. Jadwa Jasni will now tell us more.
The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization has always been at the forefront in ensuring food security and restoration of livelihoods to populations affected by the over a decade-long insurgency in the Northeast. This time, the FAO, with funding from 8 donors, procured and distributed nutrient vegetables, cereals and legume quality seedlings, as well as fertilizers to boost food productivity of farmers, income generation, build resilience, as well as meet their nutritional needs. FAO Northeast Head of Office, Alhassan Sise, represented by Tofik Bremer, said the 2022 rainy season intervention aims at reaching out to 42,000 households in 5 states, out of which 19,898 households are in Borno alone.
FAO in its emergency and resilience strategy aims to strengthen food production and productive capacity of farmers and agro-pastoral communities in the conflict-affected areas.
Borno Also, Ali Ibn Mustafa, as well as members of Gongolong community in Jere local government, appreciated the FAO and partners for prioritizing the humanitarian needs of victims of insecurity in the country.
It is a privilege that we are able to get these seats.
Yana yi farin ciki sosai da ayi mun je kasuwa mun siya amma gashi yanzu an ba mu mun mika godiyar mu da wannan Allah ya taimaka mu wannan kungiya da ainihin gwamnatin mu.
Similar activities will be extended to Adamawa, Yobe, as well as Taraba and Sokoto states of the Federation. In Maiduguri, Jadwa Jesini, NTA News.
That now to focus our attention on issues concerning security. Within a period of less than 2 months, Borno State Police Command has arrested 61 suspects for various criminal offences, all of them youths. Most of the suspects got arrested for engaging in drug trafficking and were found in possession of a variety of dangerous weapons. Yagum Subukar completes the story.
That was Atiku Umar, a 20-year-old student who was arrested for duping people claiming he was a spirit and would assist them in acquiring wealth. Other offenses perpetrated were that of rape by a 24-year-old Usman Hassan, who lured a 10-year-old girl by paying her just 30 naira to sexually abuse her, among other cases, mostly related to illicit drug trade. Many of the young suspects were found in possession of this array of dangerous weapons, which they claimed were for self-defense. Briefing newsmen on the successes recorded by the Borno State Command of the Nigerian Police Force. Within just 2 months, PPRO Suleiman Kamilu disclosed that the command will continue to use kinetic and non-kinetic approaches to rid the state of criminalities.
2 suspects were arrested at Ulari area Maiduguri by NTA Maiduguri with 75 rounds of 7.62 mm live ammunition along Maiduguri Damaturu Road, a route to Asaba, Delta State. We shall continue to reiterate the fact that Borno State Police Command is working hard to ensure that the state is not a safe haven for criminals and unguided elements.
According to the PPRO, all the 67 cases are undergoing investigation and will be charged to court soon. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
And those are the latest reports. At this time from Maiduguri, let's now return to Najatu in Abuja for more stories for us this evening.
Thank you. And we're going back to the trial census, which continues nationwide, and the National Population Commission is set to mark the census night, which signifies the commencement of enumeration of persons in selected areas and local government areas. The exercise will commence this Tuesday night, 19th July 2022. Census night is the night before the first day of enumeration, set aside for the enumeration of all homeless persons seen within the selected enumeration areas and local government areas during census night. In a statement by the Director, Public Affairs Department, National Population Commission, Dr. Isiaka Yahya, the decision to enumerate homeless persons at night is based on the fact that homeless persons are usually found in designated places such as markets, bridges, and motor parks, where they pass the night rather than daytime when they are likely to be on the move. The census reference period for the trial census will be from midnight of the first enumeration day, which is 20th July 2022, to midnight of the last enumeration day, which is 24th July 2022. The Commission calls on residents in selected areas to support and cooperate with enumerators as they carry out the national assignment, as observance of census night is in accordance with international best practices and ensures complete enumeration of the population. And still on the trial census, ahead of the 2023 National Population and Housing Census, the FCT National Population Commission has taken its sensitization train to Buari Area Council. Ojiri Oburu Arutere reports.
Our people will come on our house, come ask on our question.
This is the National Population Commission Trial Census team, led by the FCT Head of Public Affairs, Abia Ngozi Constance. Seriki Buhari's palace was the first point of call. Thereafter, the team moved to Esusa Buaya Palace, both in Buari, to intimate the royal fathers about the trial census ongoing in the area.
We have visited the two chiefs, the royal fathers, and they said they have already informed their people about trial census.
The National Population Commission sensitization train later landed at Ushafa community, where some enumerators were captured carrying out the trial census exercise. From the marking of the building, the enumerators would move into the house to get the name of the head of the household and then take count of the people living in the building. Meanwhile, the National Population Commission says the circulation NPC recruitment 2022-2023 inviting Nigerians to apply for employment for the trial census and the 2023 census portal on social media platform is a scam. A statement by the Director, Public Affairs, Dr. Isiaka Yahya, stated that the information NPC recruitment 2022-2023 is misleading and should be treated as a scam. Odiri Ogboru, Arutere, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the gallant display by Nigeria's Super Falcons against the Moroccan female national football team in the second semi-finals of the African Women's Cup of Nations. In a statement, President Buhari says he is encouraged by the doggedness, resilience and professionalism of the team, which, despite playing with 2 players down before a home crowd, showed their quality and class. The president believes that great things are expected from this team, and like all Nigerians, he will be cheering them on at future outings.